Have you ever felt like something inside of you broke? Not just cracked, but ruptured? Like the pressure of everything built up so much there was no other way out but through. Today I want to talk about that rupture, not as your undoing, but as your unveiling. Not as devastation, but divine design. Let's explore the word rupture. Rupture means a sudden break, a tearing, often from the inside out, a breach in relationship, a violent separation. It comes from the Latin rupture, which means to break, burst, or tear. From that same root we get corrupt, interrupt, erupt, and abrupt. Every word echoing a sense of sudden, radical disruption. But here's what I want you to hear. Rupture doesn't just mean something breaks apart. It means something breaks open. And in the word, rupture almost always precedes revelation. In the Greek, there are three main words tied to this concept. Regnumi, to tear, burst, or break apart. Schizo, to split or rend. It's where we get schism. And diaspao, to pull apart violently. Let me show you how these appear in Scripture. And behold, the veil of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. This word is schizo, to rend or tear apart. This wasn't just the fabric splitting. It was heaven making access through rupture. He saw the heavens being torn open and the Spirit descending like a dove. Again, schizo. Spirit is not polite when it enters earth. It ruptures the atmosphere. Suddenly there was a great earthquake, and immediately all the doors were opened, and everyone's chains were loosed. Here the word used is seismos, meaning a violent shaking or earthquake, the root of our word seismic. The prison foundations shook and the doors were opened. This is rupture through divine disturbance, a spiritual jailbreak. When God moves, he tears through what binds. In Hebrew, the word peretz means breach or bursting forth. You shall be called the repairer of the breach. Here, breach translates from peretz, a break in the wall, a gap to be restored. Let's linger here for a moment. And they shall be of thee, shall build the old waste places. Thou shalt raise up the foundations of many generations, and thou shalt be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of paths to dwell in. This speaks of a legacy of healing, a people who build what others abandoned, who restore what others forgot. They that shall be of thee speaks of generational restoration. Build the old waste places are those desolate emotional ruins. Raise up the foundations of many generations is the healing of inherited patterns. Repairer of the breach is the one who steps into broken spaces and bridges them. Restorer of the paths to dwell in. You don't just fix the past, you open up the future. When God allows something to rupture in your life, it may be because he's calling you to step into the ministry of repair. Your wounds become your witness. Your cracks become a conduit for his light. The Lord has broken through my enemies like a bursting flood. David names the place Baal Perazim, which means master of breakthroughs. The Hebrew root paratz here means to burst forth violently, to break open with force. Even God's identity is tied to the rupture that liberates. So let me speak to your rupture. Rupture is not ruin. It is the crack that lets the light pour in. It is the shattering of illusions so truth can take root. We often fear the breaking, but beloved, what if your breaking is not your burial? What if it's the sound of your birthing? Let us not forget, Christ's body broke so that we could be made whole. The veil tore so we could come boldly. The bread was broken, and then their eyes were opened. Rupture is the moment where revelation enters, where what once bound you falls away, where you are no longer just surviving, you're resurrecting. You shall be called the repairer of the breach. You will rise from this, not despite the rupture, but because of it. So if something's breaking in your life, don't rush to patch it. Don't panic. Pause and listen. The Spirit speaks from the split. He broods over the broken. He births from the breach. Let rupture be your revelation, and let revelation resurrect you. Be loved and be loved, beloved.